Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Fearless Floyd Show. I am your host, Fearless Floyd. Today is Monday, December 16th, 2024, and I am coming to you with a special drones, the real facts. If you did not catch the video I produced yesterday that went live 7 p.m. Central Time regarding the drones, let me go pop that up for you. Hang on. Sorry about that. Thought I had it in here. And it's loading. So give me 1 second. Go look for that video. So I broke down Iran's capabilities as far as their drones technology. Then I went over the world's top 10 military drones that were out there in the public sphere. Went through those. Went through the U.S. arsenal. I couldn't find anything that the United States has currently in any one of the military industrial complex organizations: Space Force, Coast Guard, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. I couldn't find anything. So this has gone on. Nobody's called out what it is. Everybody's now, the big rumor is these are sniffers that are sniffing out nuclear materials. Well, no, that's incorrect as well. Why? Well, I'm going to show you why. I'm going to go through this step by step and show you everything that you need to know about nuclear sniffing aerial weapons as well as ground weapons. Because some of you don't know, and let me go pop this up for you guys because I meant to do it and I didn't. Let me see. It'll pull up like that. I'm looking for a specific. No. B. Try that. Now I'm gonna have to go look for it, I bet. Yeah, looks like I'm gonna have to go look for it. I would think it would just pop right up, but it's not. Spot. I'm looking for a specific photograph that I took. Looks like I'm close. All right. I'm in the right venue, which means I'm in the George R. Brown. Come on, come on, come on. There's the Bernie Sanders presidential rally when he was running that I did. Went and hung a Texas and American flag. Well, I'm all over the place. I'm getting everything but that image that I'm looking for, of course. Let me try that. Those are, there's an image somewhere. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me. I'm trying to think what I have it filed under. Let me try. Let me try this last one. Nope. And golly, when was that? 2021. I could sit here and go through. Oh no, it's got to be later than that. And there's us at the rodeo. Yeah, it's going to take me a hot. Oh, there it is. Wow. How you like that, folks? I went right to it. Okay. Just so you know, when I'm breaking this down for you, I'm breaking it down. Why? From my own experience, my own knowledge. Because I work in the entertainment industry, I encounter a lot of different things. One of the conventions, seminars, whatever that I was doing at the George R. Brown Convention Center in East Downtown, Edo, as it's so fondly called, I got to meet Spot. And I know you're going, Spot. Who's Spot? Spot is the Boston Dynamics Robo Dog, that yellow and black dog you see, that robotic dog. Okay, well, they call them Spot. There's multiples, but on that particular unit, the operating system is IBM, the brain. The dog's just a robotic dog, and it needs something to tell it what to do and what attachments are attached to it and how to function and transmit and send signals and when to go recharge, etc., etc. So let me show you guys the picture. This is me and Spot, and you can see right here. Let me blow this up for you. Well, that's all I can get. Whoops. As you see, his name tag says Spot. I was not kidding. Okay. But basically, this is the Boston Dynamics dog. Right here on its back, that's the computer operating system. That's the IBM component. And then you see it has other places for different attachments. Has a microphone. I believe this was an infrared and this was a regular. But you can put on different attachments, as you see right here with the bolt-on pattern. But that's me and Spot. Now, 3 IBM engineers came with this dog. And guess who got to go sit in a room with the dog and the 3 IBM engineers with a closed door? The guy pointing to Spot, that guy. So, yeah, I got to talk to 3 IBM engineers behind closed doors and get the real facts about Spot, the Boston Dynamics RoboDog, the operating system, the accessories, costs, maintenance. When you have 3 IBM engineers in a closed room, you ask questions. And I asked questions. And they were all off the record. So I cannot share most of it with you simply because I'm a man of my word. And that's what I said I would do. We were supposed to meet again later and do a video on the dog so I could get the dog performance. At the time that picture was taken, the dog had almost expended all of its battery life and they had to go recharge it. So I was off doing my gig and I just happened to walk through there and see the dog and I'm like, oh, wow. All right. I need to talk to you guys. Here's my card. So that's what I did. Now, let me dive into the minutia of what the hell is going on in the United States of America. Now, I can't speak for what is allegedly happening in these other countries. I can go by the videos that I'm watching on social media regarding drone activity. Now, whether these are, UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena, unidentified submersible phenomena, UFOs, United States military technology, private technology. But one thing that we're going to show you in this video, or I'm going to show you, is that they are not, okay? They're not U.S. technology out sniffing for nuclear materials, radioactive materials. I'm just going to show you the facts, okay? Because that's what I do. When I hear something, I'm like, you sure? So I'm going to go do my own investigation. I'm going to take you along with me. We're going to go through all of this, and you're going to see for yourself that whatever's in the sky is not in the U.S. arsenal. It's not even on the drawing board for defense contractors. Nope. So, without further ado, let's jump into this. All right. What you have here is Ortec Online, which is high purity germanium HPGE radiation detectors. And this goes into a little bit more, but basically, here's some images of kind of what they look like. The world's most advanced HPGE gamma ray imager. Now, this one's a little handheld. It's got a little handle up here. It's got a little, like a pad tablet right here. So that's portable. But as you see, this could be mounted on Spot, the Boston Dynamics dog. So it could utilize Wi-Fi, Bluetooth technology to relay the information back to the operator. Or it could be purely autonomous and put it in a database, a hardened database because of the radioactivity, and then relay it back. So basically, this is another one, what they look like. So they look similar. Not exactly the same, but similar. So I just want to run through this with you. Here's a compact one. So we're going to click on one of these. And let me stop share because it won't change tabs. All right, this is Ortec, Amtech. It's the top one. I'm not endorsing anybody's product. I just went and got these pictures of what this looks like. As you see, these are the more portable ones because they have handles on them. That one and this one looks like they might mount on something, and these look like much larger units. So as you see, about the smallest unit we have is right here. This one, that takes a pretty big drone. So when you start getting in these mid-size to the large size, you would understand that it would take probably a drone the size of a SUV to drag one of these around consistently for any long periods of time and still have maneuverability. So what exactly are these, Floyds? Semiconductor-based photon radiation detectors have been evolving over half a century, with Ortec pioneering commercial availability for a majority of that time. Initial offerings were based around lithium drifted germanium, GELI, and lithium drifted silicone, GELI, was later replaced with more advanced high purity germanium, HPGE detectors. Ortec provides a comprehensive suite of HPGE detector solutions covering an extensive range of energies and for a variety of applications. Cryogenic cooling is required for germanium semiconductor radiation detectors in order to support various counting geometries. Ortec offers a wide range of cooling options, ranging from standard LN2 systems to advanced electromechanical cryo coolers, such as the ICS. That's trademarked, whatever the ICS is. These technologies enable Ortec HPGE radiation detectors to be used worldwide in applications as diverse as nuclear structure physics to the prevention of illicit nuclear materials trafficking at the world's largest port of commerce. All right. So these people seem to be like the innovators and, kind of like the Godfather right? So you're looking at the technology that would be contracted by the Department of Defense, the Pentagon, et cetera, right? By the US government. So now you've seen the equipment. Now we'll get into the drones later, but if you know anything about flight patterns, about search and rescues, or about search and destroys, the aircraft flies in a pattern because it's looking for something. It follows a grid. It may do a bigger grid and circle inside. It may do one and just keep making this grid, It's going to eventually encompass, 24 football fields. But however the pattern, there's a distinct pattern because it's looking for something over a specific geographical area, right? It only makes sense. So when you see these images of these drones coming up, just straight up and then coming out like that, well, that's not really how a flight pattern would operate for something that's on a search mission. So let's go find out, Floyd. Let's go read the facts, what it really looks like. This is from Pacific Northwest National Laboratory. Okay. I don't know who these people are. Just, did my search, but this is from May 18th, 2023. This is a feature. Drones fly low and slow for radiation detection. PNNL, which is who we are, Pacific Northwest National Laboratory. Researchers explored feasibility of using drones to survey sites for low levels of radiation. This is by Alan Bretman of the PNNL. Unoccupied aerial vehicles, better known as drones, have rapidly advanced from a quirky, high-flying novelty to a versatile workhorse. They are tools for search and rescue, traffic monitoring, weather monitoring, and perhaps even package hauling. One day, they may work with humans to augment the task of conducting surveys to detect low levels of radiation, information that could contribute to the decommissioning of sites no longer needed for nuclear-related energy production or research. Let's go back and start that again. One day, they may work with humans to augment the task of conducting surveys to detect low levels of radiation. All right, one day. So that means they're not doing it now. As of when? May 18th, 2023, 18 months ago. Pacific Northwest National Laboratory, PNNL, researchers found that drones have potential to conduct decommissioning radiological surveys, but further research is needed before the devices are approved for decommissioning purposes. The PNNL researchers detailed their findings for the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission, NRC, in the recently released proof of concept report, Drones for Decommissioning. Quote, drones would be particularly useful in areas that are unsafe for humans to access due to things like terrain that's difficult to walk on, close quote, said Amarit Bunn, an environmental engineer at PNNL and another study author. Quoting again, drones could also survey vertical surfaces that humans can't get to, like the outside of a tall building, close quote. Well, here's the nuclear sniffing device right here, and here's the drone. So does this look like anything that we are seeing in the skies? No. Low and slow. Decommissioning surveys are conducted at former nuclear power plants and at former buildings or sites where radiological materials were present to demonstrate that a site is in compliance with regulations and can be released for alternative uses. In the study to assess drones for radiological detection, researchers conducted an experiment at an open field on the PNNL campus in Richland, Virginia. The experiment compared the ability of a flying drone carrying radiological survey equipment with the same survey equipment secured to a rolling cart. The cart was chosen because it could best mimic human collected data to compare with the flying drone. The drone was a 6-propeller Aurelia X6 made by UAV Systems International, capable of carrying a payload of up to 11 pounds. A Federal Aviation Administration licensed pilot operated the drone. A space below the battery platform and above the landing gear accommodated a payload and provided protection for delicate instruments. That payload included a data logger, a radiation detector, and a geography sensing system. It was secured to the drone with a customized 3D printed casings. The flying drone and its rolling imitator traveled at the same prescribed path. See what I'm saying about the pattern? Looking for the same radiological elements that researchers had placed on the field. Small samples of cobalt-60, cesium-137, and americium-241. Both the drone and human propelled device performed about 1 to 3 feet above the surface. Altitude proved to be a significant factor in the flying drone's ability to collect radiological data. Altitude proved to be a significant factor in the flying drone's ability to collect the radiological data. External factors such as wind and weather changes also need to be considered, said PNNL physicist Harish Reddy Gede. Quoting, "At most decommissioning sites, we are looking at very low levels of radiation," close quote, said Gede, a study author who played a key role in crafting the experiment while he was still a postdoc. Quote, again from Gede, "We need to be as close to the ground as possible, going as slow as possible to detect some of these very low levels of radiation. For a drone flying low and slow is not typical." Close quote. And this is the Gede right here, pushing the cart. As you see the sniffer right here. Here's the drone. Good potential. Drones already have an important role in radiation monitoring and in the nuclear industry worldwide. Those equipped with radiological detection systems evaluate radiation for incident response and cleanup. Drones are used to develop contamination maps at legacy uranium sites, to monitor and detect radiation leaks, make visual inspections at nuclear facilities, and conduct unsupervised radiological measurements. After the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant disaster in Japan, drones assessed the damaged reactor's condition. Quote, "The NRC's mission is to protect public health and the environment," close quote, said Stephanie Bush Goddard, the drone project lead for the NRC's Future Focused Research Program. Quoting again, "This work by PNNL advances the mission and makes the use of drone technology possible for these applications," close quote. So we seem to be talking or discussing a group right here that is on the cutting edge of drone technology detecting radiation contaminants. Are we not? The study concludes with suggestions for overall improvements in drone performance, as well as upgrades to the flying drone that would make it better suited for a decommissioning radiological survey. Among other things, the study says, quote, "Once additional research and instrumentation improvements are complete, NRC could provide guidance on the compliance with UAV drone usage at decommissioning sites with consideration of aviation safety," close quote. So as you see that right there, and what we have heard, that the Wright-Patterson airfield in Ohio was closed down due to drone activity. For those of you who don't know, okay, Wright-Patterson airfield is the storage facility of all captured, seized, confiscated, found UFOs. Okay, the actual ships. That's where they go. The 1947 Roswell crash, that vehicle is at Wright-Patterson Airfield. After they take them, after they get reversed engineered. Even though you hear about Area 51, they are all stored at Wright-Patterson. All right. Let's see. Eventually, Gaudet said survey suitable drones could likely be programmed to perform remotely at a site without constant piloting. In addition to Bunn and Gaudet, the PNNL team included researcher Katie Wagner, Debbie Fagan, Tracy Eikenberry, Cameron Markham, and Moses Abiri. About PNNL. Pacific Northwest National Laboratory draws on its distinguishing strengths in chemistry, earth sciences, biology, and data science to advance scientific knowledge and address challenges in sustainable energy and national security. Founded in 1965, PNNL is operated by Battelle for the Department of Energy's Office of Science, which is the single largest supporter of basic research in the physical sciences in the United States. Department of Energy's Office of Science is working to address some of the most pressing challenges of our time. For more information, visit www.energy.gov/science. For more information on PNNL, visit PNNL's News Center. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. This was published May 18th, 2023. So there you go. There's the top research laboratory in the country working directly for the Department of Energy, which deals with nuclear material worldwide. You're looking at their technology. So we're not done. That was just one aspect of it to let you know what the top research in the United States or in the world is going on right now, and the capabilities of the drones and the nuclear material sniffers, as they are, the HPGEs, what that looks like, what the capabilities are. So let's dive over to the next panel. And what we have here is radiological scouting, monitoring, inspection using drones. Human populations and natural ecosystems are bound to be exposed to ionizing radiation from the deposition of artificial radionuclides resulting from nuclear accidents, nuclear devices, or radiological dispersive devices, i.e., dirty bombs. Abstract. This is from the National Institute of Health.gov, as you see right there at the very top. Abstract. Human populations and natural ecosystems are bound to be exposed to ionizing radiation from the deposition of artificial radionuclides resulting from nuclear accidents, nuclear devices, or radiological dispersive devices, dirty bombs. On the other hand, naturally occurring radioactive material industries such as phosphate production or uranium mining contribute to the on-site storage of residuals with enhanced concentrations of natural radionuclides. Therefore, in the context of the European agreements concerning nuclear energy, namely the European Atomic Energy Community Treaty, monitoring is an essential feature of the environmental radiological surveillance. In this work, we obtain 3D maps from outdoor scenarios and complete such maps with measured radiation levels with its radionuclide signature. In such scenarios, we face challenges such as unknown and rough terrain, limited number of sampled locations, and the need for different sensors and therefore different tasks. We propose a radiological solution for scouting, monitoring, and inspecting an area of interest using a fleet of drones and a controlled ground station. First, we scout an area with a light detection and ranging sensor on board a drone to accurately 3D map the area. Then we monitor that area with Geiger-Muller counter at a low vertical distance from the ground to produce a radiological heat map that is overlaid on the 3D map of the scenario. Next, we identify the hot spots of radiation and inspect them in detail using a drone by landing on them to reveal its radionuclide signature using a cadmium zinc telluride detector. We present the algorithms used to implement such tasks both at the ground station and on the drones. The three mission phases were validated using actual experiments in three different outdoor scenarios. We conclude that drones can not only perform the mission efficiently, but in general, they are faster and as reliable as personnel on the ground. Introduction. Chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear (CBRN) threats are increasingly present due to wars, terrorist attacks, disasters, or simply due to negligence and noncompliance of some human activities. In a work developed by the National Academy of Engineering, USA, the prevention of nuclear terror was identified as one of the major challenges for the 21st century. Radiological threats may impact populations on a daily basis. First, there are naturally occurring radioactive materials, NORM scenarios resulting from the residual deposits of phosphate production and uranium mining with enhanced concentrations of uranium decay products. Due to erosion, rain, and other natural weather phenomenon, those natural radionuclides contained in landfills may be remobilized in the ecosystem and reach human populations directly or indirectly via their agriculture and animal economies. Ore mining, such as uranium mining, produces a great quality of tailings to be stacked on site. It is common to find radiation levels above background on such NORM sites. Secondly, the possibility of unforeseen events must be envisaged, such as nuclear plant disasters, Chernobyl, 1986, and Fukushima, 2011, illegal or negligent disposal of radioactive material, Goiânia accident in 1987, and nuclear terrorism attacks using radiological dispersal devices, dirty bombs. Regarding all the above mentioned circumstances, we now have a varied set of scenarios, each of them with its particular magnitude, meaning potential threats due to the spread of radioactive contamination and the consequent exposure of the environment and human populations to ionizing radiation. The launching of the European Atomic Energy Community Treaty in the European Union set up the present policies of radiological protection and safety, including the commitment that each member state shall establish the facilities necessary to carry out continuous monitoring or the level of radioactivity in the air, water, and soil, and to ensure compliance with the basic standards, Article 35. Public environment agencies and mining enterprises prioritize sensing technologies that are easily transported to a target scenario and set up in a short period of time to retrieve the most relevant information in the field during or immediately after sampling. Currently, such locations, e.g. abandoned ore mines, are routinely surveyed and mostly have been remediated. Personnel move on foot, carrying handheld Geiger-Muller counters that register random events of nuclei fission as count rates, count per minute, CPM, and or gamma radiation spectrometers such as the cadmium zinc telluride detector, CZT, to identify and quantify the gamma emitters. These sensors allow staff to check for locations with radiation above nominal values. This process is tedious, time-consuming, and typically limited to places humans can access. Furthermore, agencies have too many locations under their jurisdiction where it is their responsibility to carry out radiological surveys and little human resources to do it as often and thoroughly as desired. So if y'all want me to get into more of this, we can. You're more than welcome to go read this. It's extremely lengthy, but it breaks everything down. And once you read this, you'll understand that nothing's making sense that's out in the public sphere when you go get the real facts of the capabilities of the current technology that exists. Okay, because some of these, companies, like we have a nuclear power plant right here down, I think they call it the Oyster Creek nuclear power plant. So they're constantly surveying for radiation leaks. And you're right here, you're looking at, this is all the top of the line stuff, cutting edge technology, where they're constantly researching, constantly trying to improve. What drones looking for these radioactive materials, that they have to go low and slow. The closer they are to the ground doing their sniffing, the better their results. Scouting, monitoring, inspection. Those are the three phases of the drones. So we're going to get into the drones here in just a second, but I wanted to get you through this, and you can see, we're not even close to getting to anywhere near this. But I'm glad it has these visuals for you guys. So I'll sit here and scroll through this to get to the visuals so you can kind of get a general feel of what's actually going on. Because if they're telling us they're looking for nuclear materials, then that's the activity of the drone footage that exists out in the public on social media today does not reflect the capabilities of the current drone and nuclear sniffing devices currently available. So we can get, break in. This gets down to the real minutia of it, but let's just go to the very end and see what that looks like. Here's all your footnotes. Funding. This paper is a result of the Project Friends fleet of drones for radiological inspection, communication, and rescue. All right. Boy, they had to reach out for that one. And supported by the Portuguese Foundation for Science and Technology. Okay. European Regional Development Fund. So author contributions. Appendix A, acknowledgements. Authors acknowledge the Portuguese Environment Agency, APA, and to the Empresa de Desenvolvimento Mineiro, SA, for the authorization, consultancy, and support to the experimental tests performed by the team of the project in terrain. So here's conclusions and future work. So after, I don't know how many pages this was. In this paper, we presented a 3-tier design to perform radiological missions with a fleet of drones. First, we have used a drone with LiDAR to scout the scenario and create interactive 3D maps. Then we have used drones to collect the GMC data samples, from which we were able to create heat maps, overlay such data on 3D maps, and identify the hotspots, the locations with the highest radiation. Finally, we were able to inspect in detail some of those locations and compute their radiation spectra to identify the radionuclides. We conclude that drones are a viable tool to scout and monitor scenarios faster and as reliable as personnel on the ground. In the future, we will focus on developing autonomous flights. For the scouting phase, we intend to experiment using the GNSS to perform automatic flights and feed live LiDAR data to the drone to assess obstacles close by. For the monitoring phase, we will focus on constant and low height flight by integration of vertical navigation controls, obstacle avoidance hardware, and state-of-the-art algorithms. For the inspection phase, we will address autonomous landing at hotspots, especially when they are covered by an obstacle, e.g., a tree whose branches arch over the hotspot. The paper is focused in radiological scenarios. However, the presented solutions and decisions are also applicable to other areas of CBRN threats. We intend to explore in the future other types of sensors for other CBRN scenarios, e.g., thermal, gas such as methane, etc., such as landfills and similar scenarios. And then we get into the acknowledgments again, but I wanted to close with that. So I've given you the setup, okay, of what equipment needs to be on the ground or in the air to detect radiological materials. I've shown you how it must be used on the ground and aerial. I've shown you where it's used. I've shown you studies of how it's used and how they're trying to develop it for better use. Now we're going to get into the drones. What is currently available in manufacturers' inventory, whether they're defense contractors or they're just a private firm, or it's the military industrial complex, or it's another country trying to develop drones as well. So we will dive into that. So let me backtrack just for a second for you guys. I laid this out for you, all right, but I wanted to show you where it came from. So right here. So let me go back. Whoops. Oh, okay. I copied it and pasted it. That's what I did. Oh, sorry about that. So let me get over here to, whoops, to the nitty gritty of what the hell's really in the skies. This is Air and Space Forces magazine. And if you go through these tabs, weapons and platforms, one of the tabs is unmanned aircraft systems. We all know this vehicle right here has been around for decades, probably 3 decades, since the MQ-9 Reaper. Here's the BQM-167, the QF-16, the RQ-170 Sentinel. So let's just click on that. Let me stop share. Let me go back to share, make sure I'm sharing. Because we all want a little sharing in us. All right. Here's the RQ-170 Sentinel. And as you see, the development of the unmanned aerial platforms are now being geared towards existing manned aircraft. Wow, doesn't that make sense? So instead of spending millions of dollars training, pilots to be able to operate these vehicles, it's easier to create a UAV, an unmanned aerial vehicle, and have your operator, in the comforts of, Fort Bliss or someplace like that. I don't even know if that's a real thing. See, they've had these since 2011. So obviously, this does not look like it. Any shape, form, or fashion would be able to hover or do some of these dives into the ocean. And I missed this last one. Here's the RQ-4 Global Hawk. Basically, this one's a high altitude reconnaissance. I'm going to tell you what it is just from my own knowledge, but I'll go pull it up for you so you can see it. I want you to understand what these drones look like, okay? Because what you're seeing here on the show and what's in the air are two different things. They're not even close in resemblance. Here's your RQ-4 Global Hawk. And just like I said, is a strategic, long endurance, high altitude, deep look ISR platform complementing satellite and manned ISR. So this, I'm retired in 2011. Obviously, they've been upgrading this. The United States Air Force conducted the first RQ-4 flight using the new modernized ground control station in 2020. So it even tells you where all of these are at. So unmanned aircraft systems, there you go. So we will stop sharing. I will go over to the next one. Like I said, folks, these are the facts. When you go do your research, you dive down the rabbit hole, this is what you get. So you don't have to go do it. That's why you come over here and check me out. So here, you see this? Does this look like anything you're seeing in the sky? United States Air Force, DIU, pick 4 firms to explore cheaper, modular, mass-produced drones. This is from June 3rd, 2024 by John A. Tierpak. 4 companies will develop enterprise test vehicles designed to use off-the-shelf and readily available components and materials meant for rapid, high-rate production, the Air Force Armament Directorate and Pentagon Defense Innovation Unit announced June 3rd. Anduril Industries, Integrated Solutions for Systems Incorporated, Leidos Dynetics, and Zone 5 Technologies received contracts to, quote, develop prototype solutions for flight demonstration in late summer/fall 2024, close quote, according to a DIU press release. But the contract values and the dates of the awards were not disclosed. The program will aim to maximize subsystem modularity and will complement the Air Force's Collaborative Combat Aircraft Program, as well as other efforts. It isn't immediately clear whether the program directly supports the Pentagon's Replicator effort, but its goals align with it. Replicator, announced by the Deputy Defense Secretary Kathleen Hicks last August, is focused on large-scale production of low-cost but capable system to achieve mass effects. The 4 companies picked for the Enterprise Test Vehicle program were selected from a highly competitive field of more than 100 commercial and dual-use technology company applicants, according to a DIU release. Anduril was also one of the 2 companies to receive contracts in April for the first increment of the Air Force's Collaborative Combat Aircraft Program, and a company spokesman said the ETV work will be done by the same group within the company. General Atomics was the other company picked to do CCA work. Here is Zone 5's technologies concept for the ETV. As you see, it looks more like a Tomahawk missile than it does a drone. In a statement, Anduril Senior Vice President for its Air Dominance and Strike Vision, Jason Levin, said the company looks forward to working with DIU and the Air Force Armament Directorate, quote, deliver a highly producible, modular, affordable, and capable enterprise test vehicle, ETV, that will serve as the baseline architecture for large-scale production of next-generation airborne platforms. Again, folks, you're looking at cutting-edge technology, state-of-the-art, the best of the best, the newest of the new. Here's another one. Now, this definitely looks like a Tomahawk missile. This is Lido Dynetics competing for the ETV with this concept. These are not what we're seeing in the air, folks. So I can sit here and read more and more and more, but you see what's going on. Replicator on track to field thousands of cheap drones within months. And did I go pull that? Yep. So let me stop sharing. Pull up the next one. So this is Replicator. Replicator on track to field thousands of cheap drones within months. December 12th, 2024, again by John A. Tierpak. The first iteration of the Pentagon's Replicator initiative should achieve its goals by providing thousands of cheap autonomous platforms in all combat domains by July 2025. The deputy director of the Defense Innovation Unit, DIU, said December 12th. Aditi Kumar, speaking at the Hudson Institute, said Replicator, the signature initiative of Deputy Defense Secretary Kathleen Hicks, was planned as a 2-year campaign, and after starting in September 2023, should meet its objectives on time. We're in good shape to provide multiple thousands of attributable autonomous systems in multiple domains within 8 months, Kumar said. Our acquisition enterprise is sprinting, and our commercial vendors are sprinting to pull these off the production lines and get them into the hands of the warfighter. Replicator was also meant to improve and speed up the Pentagon's acquisition processes, Kumar added, and the fact that it will meet its deadline is a positive sign on that front. The second iteration of Replicator, dubbed Replicator 2 and announced by Hicks in September of this year, 2024, is going to be focused on doing exactly the same thing, but this time focused on a counter-drone capability. So now we're executing both in parallel, Kumar said. Lessons from the first Replicator push are already starting to inform the second. Kumar cited one lesson as the need for transparency and consistent communications with industry about what exactly we're going after and when. For example, Defense Secretary Lloyd J. Austin III announced the Pentagon's new counter-unmanned system strategy last week, and DIU officials have already held subsequent roundtables with industry and investors to clarify our demand signal and the types of systems and capabilities that we will be pursuing with Replicator 2, Kumar said. I think that will get us off on the right foot and accelerating quickly with the commercial sector as our partners, she said. A second lesson learned is to start early on the hardest problems, which in many cases are the software problems. For Replicator 1, we're doing a whole host of things related to collaborative autonomy and control and command and control. And for Replicator 2, command and control is once again a key challenge. A third lesson is early and frequent communications with Congress, Kumar said. DIU leadership has been on Capitol Hill explaining what Replicator 2 looks like, what types of capabilities we're looking to field, and in what locations, so that there are early supporters and we think about funding this enormous challenge. Asked what the DIU has learned from the Ukraine war, Kumar said combat experience is driving Ukraine to update the software of its systems on increasingly short timelines. Ukraine's experience has been very helpful to us, demonstrating that the software upgrades need to happen on a 3 to 4 week timeline, which is incredibly fast and has a cost, she said. Historically, she said, the Pentagon has not funded software aggressively or pushed updates quickly. That has to change with significantly different types and magnitude of investment. This approach will also help with some of the paralysis services sometimes have in committing to a new system because they fear that once they buy it, it will be quickly overtaken by technology or the threat, she said. Kumar said the big challenges with Replicator and other future systems is ensuring collaborative interaction between autonomous systems and the command and control apparatus that links joint systems so that they can queue other services platforms and provide situational awareness for the joint enterprise. Air Force Replicator. While the Air Force did not have systems included in the first round of Replicator systems, Hicks announced of Replicator 1.2, or the second tranche of the Replicator program, on November 13th. These new systems are meant to add the first tranche of selected systems announced earlier in 2024 and are also geared toward an August 2025 fielding target. The Air Force's Enterprise Test Vehicle was included in the second tranche, and the service will partner with the DIU and multiple vendors to develop and demonstrate design variants. The four companies involved are Anduril Industries, Integrated Solutions for Systems Incorporated, Leidos Dynetics, and Zone 5 Technologies. Selected ETV prototypes will be accelerated to scale production, the Pentagon said in a release accompanying Hicks' announcement. Air Force Vice Chief of Staff General James Slife, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, said the ETV's modular design and open system architecture make it an ideal platform for program offices to test out new capabilities at the subsystem level, reducing risk and demonstrating various options for weapon system employment. Hicks said Replicator is demonstrably reducing barriers to innovation and delivering capabilities to warfighters at a rapid pace. She also said that of the more than 500 companies that were considered replicator contracts, more than 30 received them. And of those, 75% are non-traditional defense contractors. Counter drone. It remains to be seen whether an Air Force program will be included in Replicator 2, but the service is likely to have some interest in the project. Officials say the Air Force needs to take on the counter UAS and air defense missions because its agile combat employment model, which will spread out small Air Force units across a wide number of small and austere airfields, will require more air defense assets than the Army seems to be able to provide. Air Force Secretary Frank Kendall recently said he's comfortable taking over air defense as an organic mission from the Army. Ravi Chaudhry, Assistant Secretary of the Air Force for Energy, Installations, and Environment, hinted at future developments on that front at an AFA Warfighters in Action event on December 11th. Quoting, "We're busy putting together what that's going to look like going forward," he said. "More to follow. But we're talking about it very, very intently and deliberately at the Pentagon to decide what we're going to do about our installations and this particular challenge, and that there may be something to announce in the not too distant future." So there you have their own words of what's going on in our own military industrial complex, at the Pentagon, at the White House, in Congress, the defense contractors, and even the non-traditional defense contractors, which are just commercial companies out there creating different types of platforms that are being adopted by the military industrial complex. So let's go see what a real United States arsenal for nuclear sniffers looks like. Well, here we go again. This is the WC-135 Nuke Sniffer fleet. Upgrades are complete, the United States Air Force says. This is from a year ago, December 15th, 2023, by Unshin Lee Harpley. So once again, let's take a look at this little small drone we have here. Because, of course, that's not a drone. That's a C-135, folks. That's a giant plane. The Air Force took delivery on the third and final WC 135R Nuke Sniffer aircraft, completing its transition from its two aircraft WC 135CW fleet. The new Fanjet aircraft arrived at Offutt Air Force Base, Nebraska, on December 4th. Having this third jet really opens up a lot of options for us, said Colonel Mark Howard, 55th Wing Commander, in a release. The aircraft sampled the air for particles and gases indicating nuclear activities to ensure compliance with the Limited Test Ban Treaty of 1963, a global agreement to restrict nuclear weapons testing. There are few missions like it anywhere else in the U.S. military. Most people think of radiation and think avoid it. One Constant Phoenix crew member told Air and Space Forces magazine in May, with this jet, we're able to go and actually do that safely, which I think is really cool. Again, here's another photograph of the WC-135R. Having three jets rather than two gives Constant Phoenix crew members much more flexibility to take samples in more parts of the world, which is especially important as the number of potential nuclear foes increases. And I'm quoting, for the first time in our nation's history, we have the ability to respond to simultaneous events without mission degradation or diversion of assets, close quote, said Colonel James Finlayson, commander of the Air Force Technical Application Center, AFTAC, oversees the U.S. Atomic Energy Detection System, which monitors foreign compliance with nuclear testing treaties. The WC-135Rs are flown by the 55th Wing's 45th Reconnaissance Squadron, while the AFTAC provides the special equipment operators who run the airborne sampling equipment. The new WC-135Rs, all three of them, are converted KC-135R aerial refuelers. Their transformation from stratotankers to nuclear sniffers began in 2019 at the 645th Aeronautical Systems Group, a maintenance depot best known as Big Safari. The third R model, tail number 64-14829, was initially delivered to the Air Force in 1964 and most recently operated by the Arizona National Guard before its makeover. The new jets feature a brand new cockpit and CFM-56 turbofan engines, the same as the other two WC-135R nuclear sniffers. The earlier aircraft were dissimilar, so this will make training and maintenance more efficient. Having the same engines across the entire fleet is huge for our pilots as well as our maintainers. The new engines also fix a problem that affected the older WC-135W fleet, whose engines went out of production decades ago and often suffered dangerous failures. The first WC-135 was delivered to the Air Force in July 2022, followed by the second aircraft this May. The 55th Wing retired the first WC-135C/W aircraft in November 2020 and the second one in the fall of 2022. So there you go. There's your WC-135R. Nuclear sniffers, one of three in the United States military arsenal, folks. And went through that. And now we're going to dive into what you would think would be next. Special ops. Okay. Let's go look at special ops, Floyd. Well, you have the A-29 Super Tucano, you have the AC-130J Ghost Rider. You don't know what that's all about. That's a bad boy right there. The AC-130W Stinger 2, another bad boy. The C-145 Combat Coyote. The C-146 Wolfhound. And then we have the CV-22 Osprey. The EC-130J Commando Solo Super J. The MC-12W Liberty. The MC-130H Combat Talon. The MC-130J Commando 2. The U-28A Draco. Yeah, that's a wrap. So, Osprey. Let's go look at an Osprey. This is an Osprey. That's what it looks like. They are able to take off horizontally and then travel vertically by rotating these two giant propellers on the end of the wings. So that would be on the ground. That's what it would look like. And then once it decides to propel forward, these tilt. Now this is 1989. Yeah, this has been in existence for a while. It was supposed to be developed for the Marines, so they could land a squadron of Marines basically anywhere and get them to the location faster than a traditional Huey helicopter, which, as we know, is the workhorse. So we can go into all of this, but basically, that's what it is. We had a video of what it looks like taking off, but there you go. So these can maneuver, but they're not highly maneuverable. You're not going to see them dancing around the skies. So what exactly is in the sky? I'm telling you, folks, we don't know. That's not United States technology. They don't know what it is. The U.S. government's, telling you not to worry about it because they don't know. They don't want panic in the streets. Just imagine if this is, like War of the Worlds. This really is a alien. Are they holograms? Who the hell knows? Trump says shoot them down. I don't know what that would look like. But we definitely need some more answers in what we're getting. And I think I've gone through pretty much everything that you need to see today regarding UFOs. Let me get over here. Let me show you what I got coming up for the month. All right. Hello, tomfoolery. Hey, Wendy. Thank you for the compliment. Spot creeps you out. Yeah, Spot was. Those are so scary, especially when you see them, like right next to you, how quick they are. I mean, they're not fast, they are quick. Scary. How you doing, Bear? How you doing, Dove Eyes? Valiant Thor, how you doing? The drone thing is an attempt from the deep state to stop sabotage the incoming administration. Emergency Powers Act. But they're not our drones. They don't belong to us. We don't have anything like that. There's no country or corporation in the world right now. Just did the research, producing something of those capabilities. Doesn't exist. We just ran through the arsenal. Go watch the video I did last night. Top 10 drones in the world. Nothing looks like what's in the sky right now that exists, that's available for mass production like that. Christian, how you doing? Sugar G Man. I don't know if they're changing the weather, but something is. End Times Productions channel explains everything that's happening. Example, UFOs, demonic deception, Nephilim giants, pyramids, old world, and the Great Reset. Yeah. I can cover all that too, but I just go by what the facts tell me. They're telling me, oh, yeah, those are our drones. Well, they're not our drone. Okay, well, they belong to an adversary. No, they don't belong to an adversary. They don't exist. All you have to do is just look at drones and what the capability of the drone. Now, as you know, I work in the entertainment industry. I do conventions for big corporations, Anheuser-Busch, Walmart. Oh, God, I can just go on and on and on. But I mentioned Walmart for a reason, because I think it's 3 years ago, because I've done 3 Walmart conventions here in George R. Brown. Not the last. I probably missed one this year because I didn't work this year. 2 years ago, we set everything up. Okay. Then they come in and they do their thing, put all their stuff in there. This particular year, for security, they used their employees of the month from all of their locations all over the country. So you might go to an exit, a doorway, and there would be somebody from Raleigh, North Carolina, somebody else from Little Rock, Arkansas. You might go to another entrance and somebody's from Juneau, Alaska, Lincoln, Nebraska. So you're constantly interacting with all these Walmart people, these employees of the month. But at the front in E Hall, because they went backwards. Okay? They went E to A. So in E Hall, they had all the displays. This is how we're going to market our products. This is, the new product line for, I just use Coca-Cola. Okay. The new products coming out from Coke. This is how we're going to display them. Are they going to be on an end cap? Are they going to be on a pallet in the middle of the aisle, et cetera, et cetera. So as you progress from E Hall to D Hall, C Hall, B Hall, A Hall, by the time you get to A Hall, that's where all the robotics is. So in between A Hall and E Hall, about in C Hall, I say probably more in D Hall, right in there on the cusp between C and D. When I came in that entranceway, they had all the autonomous vehicles. Yeah. All the delivery vehicles for Walmart, aerial and ground. Yeah. And when you got all the way down to A Hall, that's where they had all the robotics. So basically, they had robots that were able to go get the product off the shelf, take it off the shelf, put it in here, scan it, and custom cut a box for it, package it, kick the box out, throw a shipping label on it, and then those autonomous vehicles down at the other hall picked it up somehow, whatever type of delivery it was going to be. So everything was automated. What was so ironic is that all these Walmart employees walking around don't realize that everything that they're seeing is going to take their job away from them in 5 years. I've seen the new point of sale systems. I've seen all this new stuff for Walmart that they're not even using yet, that they may not ever use, but it was there on display. I was privileged to see it because of my job. So let me tell you about some of the things I saw. A 6 propeller, okay, 6 engine, 6 motor, whatever you want to call it, all electric drone, propeller drone. And this thing was big, 5, 6 feet in diameter. Propellers were probably 1 foot. That was that drone. The next drone they had was a fixed wing drone that would look like an airplane or a glider. And it probably had a 6 to 8 foot wingspan. And those were the only two aerial drones that they had. So Walmart, one of the richest corporations in the world, as we know, of course, they're going to be on the cutting edge of that type of delivery technology, like Amazon would be. I would think those two companies would be competing back and forth. So I was, privy to see that. Now I went over to the autonomous vehicles on the ground level, and they had what looked like a cooler on wheels. That was a delivery vehicle, and of course had the big antenna went up. And this thing, you've probably seen them because they're already in existence, just different manufacturers. So they had those. Then they had some that, if you remember the old ice cream carts, that are on the front of bicycles. So they had one about the size of those that was autonomous. Then next up, they had a van. This was a cabinless, pilotless, autonomous van that had suicide doors that opened up like that and had two bench seats that faced each other. This was for transportation. That's what they had then. That was 2 years ago. So, of course, that technology has developed. I'm sure the aerial technology has developed. But the gist of what I'm trying to tell you is we're looking at the most cutting edge drone technology out there. What is in the skies, what these videos are of, these recordings, do not correlate with what exists on this planet today. That's the only thing I can tell you. If somebody wants to dig up some more facts and send me some more facts to look at, to vet, to research, to read, I'll be more than happy to do it for you. But I haven't seen it. I would love to be able to tell you something, but it's just unavailable. As you see, I got some shows coming up. I've got some other announcements. Constitutional Sheriff Richard Mack has agreed to come on the show. We're working out if it's going to be a live or pre-recorded. I also have another gentleman, Ray Mata, who you may or may not know. He is doing, he's all about human trafficking. So I'm going to have him on here. That will probably be pre-recorded or a live. And if it's a live, it won't be at my regularly scheduled times. So look for that. Richard, citizen journalist. I also have him in the queue. Let's see. Coming up Wednesday, my annual review for Anna Von Reitz, her bank, the American State Nationals, David Lester Strait, Bonnie, all those people over there in that movement. So I'll tell you what's up with them and all that. Friday, the 20th, tentatively scheduled, Elizabeth Rodriguez Ruiz, if you're not familiar with who she is, that's tentatively scheduled. I don't know if it's for sure scheduled. And after that, Christmas Day, I doubt I'll do anything then. And the 24th will be Noel Benoit's talking about Jacqueline Kennedy. And then the 26th, the Thursday, will be again Noel Benoit's. And we're talking about, I'm sorry. 26th is Marilyn Monroe. The 24th is Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis. And I don't have anything for the Friday on the 27th, but on the 31st, we will talk about MK Ultra again with Noel Benoist. If you don't know, I'm writing a book with Noel, so that's why I'm doing a lot of Noel shows. I think I've covered everything in this video. As you see in the banner below, if you need to know anything, it's usually running down there. Looks like I have another comment. Savvy. Some distraction, fear, porn, government ops, and some are ET. Just my guess. Hey, y'all. Yeah. Um, there's definitely drones, UFOs, ET, whatever you want to call them. I don't know if they're already here and what that dynamics looks like, but yeah, I don't think it's anything our government's doing. I think our government's too inept, incapable. Like the big drones in Iran under the tunnels. Wow, yeah, I covered that yesterday. I mean, listen. There's drones out there the size of SUVs and cars, but they can't hover. They can't zigzag. They don't have that capability. As you see, most of them are going towards either reconnaissance or they're some type of weapons platform or they're like a suicide drone, like a Tomahawk missile. Pat, do you feel that we're getting taken over slowly with Chinese? Um, our government has long sold us out. This goes back to the Clintons, and then again in the Obamas, and of course we know what George W. Bush did to us. So of course, we're getting it on all fronts, and it's what's sad is internally within our own government, our own judiciary, the executive branch, the congressional branch, the legislative branch. And you can't beat fraud and corruption, especially when it's internally. Sugar Man, that's why you kick ass, Floyd, because you do the work. A lot of people don't want to discover the truth. The truth shall set us free. Yeah, that's all I'm searching for. It's the truth. What is this? What's really, what's the real deal? And as you remember, who did Joe Biden appoint to take care of our nuclear waste storage? Y'all remember? Go see if it'll pop right up. I know he's gone now, but oh yeah, how could we forget? Hey, puppy dog. Samuel Otis Britton is an American nuclear engineer and LGBTQ activist. They served as the these are confused people. They served as the Deputy Assistant Secretary of Spent Fuel and Waste Disposition in the Office of Nuclear Energy from June to December of 2022. Britain is no longer employed by the Office of Nuclear Energy after being charged with luggage theft on 3 occasions. Y'all remember this, right? Career. Let's find out how this guy got there. In 2016, Britain was a senior policy analyst for the Bipartisan Policy Center, lobbying for updated regulations to make it possible for nuclear waste to be used to power advanced nuclear reactors. In February 2020, the website of Deep Isolation, a Berkeley, California nuclear waste storage and disposal company, listed Britain as a director of legislative affairs, and in May 2022, as Director of Global Political Strategy. In 2022, Britain's profile at the Department of Energy, DOE, indicated previous work at the Breakthrough Institute, the Clean Air Task Force, and Third Way. In 2022, I guess he's got a frog in his pocket, or a gerbil up. No, not a gerbil. In 2022, they became Deputy Assistant Secretary for Spent Fuel and Waste Disposition in DOE's Office of Nuclear Energy, serving in the Office of Spent Fuel and Waste Disposition. The South Florida Gay News reported that, according to Britain, while they were welcomed with open arms at all levels of the organization, others reacted to their appointment with hatred and disgust, some making death threats against them. In February 2022, an unidentified Department of Energy employee filed allegations of hiring malpractice with the Office of the Inspector General due to concern regarding Britain's qualifications for a senior executive service level position, i.e., the class of federal career officials who rank just below top presidential appointees in seniority. Britain supports the use of interim sitting for radioactive waste to determine which sites and storage methods are best suited for future permanent repositories. And we can get into his whole luggage thefts, personal life, blah, 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 blah. But there you go. Wow. So somebody who steals luggage at airports, and they're in charge of what? What are they? Spent fuel and waste disposition. So if he's stealing clothes, do you think he could be paid off to spread a little? I don't know. That's what the hell we got ourselves into. That's what we got ourselves into. Nuclear waste is BS. There's no such thing. Look up Galen Windsor for the nuclear scam. KC Tenor. Yeah, no. Hey, Wendy. I know it's just a sad day in the United States of America. So anyway, I don't know if y'all have heard anything new lately on the drones or what's going on with that since I've been doing the show for the last hour and a half. But I wanted to go dig into the real facts. I wanted to go find the minutia that most of you don't have time to do. Put it out here for everybody in the world to go actually look and read and go, hey, wow, that's some points to ponder. So I think I'll ponder those. Facts are what they are, folks. So just do your own logic. Stay vigilant. I don't know what to tell you to do because we could be in completely new territory where this has never, ever, ever happened. We've never in the history of the United States had airports and military bases that predominantly with Air Force flight be shut down due to unknown drone activity or any type of aerial phenomenon. It's never happened. So we are in, new territory, places that we've never been before. We already know that the Biden administration, they're going to lie to us no matter what. Okay. If you ask them, hey, is today Monday? No, it's Tuesday. No, it's Tuesday. Even though everybody knows it's Monday, they're going to lie about the most stupid, mundane stuff. So when it comes to the real information that we really need to know, they're definitely. Yeah, I know. But that's what we got. We got a joke of an administration, and we got screwed. I don't know if y'all got a chance to watch Trump's press conference he just had at Mar-a-Lago. Go check that out. Actually, a president-elect interacting with the press and calling them out on their bullshit, on their fake news, on their Russian hoax, on legacy mainstream media calling out CBS for the whole 60 Minutes fiasco with Kamala Harris. Expect some FCC licenses to get yanked, or some of the CEOs or boards of directors to get called to the carpet. Because what Trump said that hadn't been released publicly is one of the co-founders of Google, that big monstrosity, has already gone to Mar-a-Lago and cozied up to Trump. What do you think Trump told him? That little terms and conditions that you have that are squelching the First Amendment on those social media platforms you host probably should stop. But then again, he may not have, because he has Truth Social, where obviously free speech reigns. So if his competition is YouTube, you may. I don't know. Susan, how you doing? Welcome to the show. I'm getting ready to sign off. They want more laws on drones. Well, they're behind on the curve. They're behind on everything. Congress has not balanced the budget in 15 years since Clinton. So until we have a balanced budget, folks, everything else is insignificant, because we cannot continue to borrow money from an insolvent bank called the Federal Reserve Bank, because it doesn't have any money. I mean, if they used all their credits to, purchase precious metals, hard commodities, yeah, then they may have something. But if not, then is what it is. All right. I have a few things coming up, folks. So if you have not, go check this video out that I did. Sorry about that. And if you have not, please go nominate my friend, Dr. Ed Group. And if you have a compromised immune system and you need some assistance, or you know someone who has a compromised immune system, you might want to try mushroom therapy. Mushrooms are for humans, dogs, cats, and livestock as well. I want to thank Diane and Kristen for sending me the Bucky Bites and the Mush Puppies for my dog. And I'm telling you, you want to see a dog go crazy for those treats. And I alternate, give her one I give every other day, I give her a different one. So she gets all of them. Go check that out, fearlessfloydpets.com. If you have a question about the products, the ingredients, or anything like that, fearlessfloydpets at gmail.com. And of course, I got some specials coming up as I do at the end of. All right, folks. I have hopefully I've educated you and given you a little intellectual curiosity and provided you some answers and quelled a little anxiety and fear you might be experiencing. So please, you know what to do.